All right, this video we're going to go over mixing of the hCG. So we're going to start with one of our alcohol pads and the mixing needle. And this syringe and mixing needle are separate. They're together, but they're actually separate. So open them up. And take the top off. You're going to want to screw it on nice and tight. And then you'll take the hCG out of the box. You will throw away the sodium chloride. That is for fertility. 1 dose with the hCG and the sodium chloride is a fertility dose. For those of you that don't want fertility, throw it away. Also, if you're taking hCG, you want to be using birth control if you're able to have children, because it does help with fertility. So if you don't want babies, make sure you're on birth control. Just my little side note. Okay, so we have the hCG, a sterile vial, and I have our new bacteriostatic sodium chloride. Searched high and low. Finally, it's a nice little 10 milliliters, so we'll have less waste. And in doing some research, I found that sodium chloride helps with the potency of hCG and with the effectiveness of hCG. So we've got bacteriostatic, which will keep it from developing bacteria. Sodium chloride, which is a natural, it's natural in your body. And we have our wipes. So I'm going to take off the little lids, green lid, the purple lid. Snaps right off. Then we will sanitize the vials. We'll just do one at a time here. You're going to take your syringe and draw in, and this is a 5 milliliter syringe, so this holds enough to do one whole vial of hCG. Pull in some air. This is going to help with the vacuum that's in this vial. Then you're going to put it in and you're going to turn it upside down so you make sure that the needle is in liquid. And you're going to push the air up inside, which is going to be a little difficult and it will make bubbles, but it's going to make pulling the water out a lot easier. So now, then you'll pull out. You're going to want to pull out about 2 milliliters. So I'm right at the 2. I'm going to go a little bit further. And you can see it on the video. And then you're going to push up out in the air and push it up to, and you'll notice the rubber stopper, the end of it is right at the 2 milliliter mark. A lot of people have questions on that, exactly which. And so this end, not the back end, so that there's actually 2 milliliters of liquid in the syringe. And you're going to pull it out.
Show them the little.
What's that?
Inside the overdeck. Show them what's inside.
Oh, yes. There's a little tablet. It's a freeze-dried tablet of hCG. Kind of hard to see, but when you have your own, you can look and see it's a little tablet. So you're going to want to sanitize it. Now, when you're putting the bacteriostatic water in, there's a little groove. You'll be able to see it in the rubber stopper. So you're going to want to put it upside. It's going to want to shoot out automatically. So you're going to want to tilt it so it goes against the glass and not down into the hCG. We want to try to treat our hCG as gentle as possible. So kind of tilt it. You don't want it touching the glass, but just see, and so it'll automatically start to go in itself. So you're going to put in, and it's shooting against the glass and rolling down into the hCG. And once you've got your 2 milliliters in there, oh, actually, duh, you can leave the needle in.
You're gonna mix it.
There you go. Yeah. Yes. Or you can take it out. It's going to be stubborn. You can leave it in while it's in there because you're going to just roll it gently until you don't see any white tablet in there any longer, and it's just a nice clear liquid. And then you're going to draw it back out. So like I said, you can leave the needle in. So you're going to poke it back in, You need to turn it upside down, and you're going to draw the liquid out of the hCG vial. You know what? Okay, so this is what you guys will find, little challenges. This one needs a little bit of air because it's really, really difficult. So I'm going to fill the syringe full of air, put it back in. I'm going to push air into the vial so it'll make drawing out the hCG a lot easier. So you want to make sure that the tip of the needle is in liquid and it actually draws it out itself, which is really nice. Now, to make sure that you get all of the hCG out, that's what that little groove in the rubber stopper's for. You want to make sure that you've got it turned. Can you see it okay?
Mm-hmm.
Turned completely upside down, and that the tip of the needle is just inside that groove. Because if you notice, the needle doesn't reach the bottom, so you can't turn it upside down. So it has to be just barely inside the rubber stopper to get the last bits of hCG. And sometimes you have to put it into the vial and maybe go back and get a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead. Same thing, you're going to want to do it against the side. So kind of put it in an angle, let it go against the side and roll down gently. You don't want to have bubbles. You don't want to shake it. You want to treat it real gentle. Mistreatment of the hCG actually breaks down the proteins that cause it to be effective. So we want it to be as effective as possible. Now, is there a little bit? You know, there really isn't. There's maybe a drop inside there, so we're not even going to worry about it. Then we're going to go back into the bacterial sodium chloride, and we're going to pull out 3 more milliliters. So we're going to want a total of 5. And the needle is not up inside the liquid, so you got to make sure the tip of the needle is inside the liquid, not up in the air. And pull it, and there you go. This one's being a little difficult too because I didn't push air up into it. That pushing of the air up into it really makes a difference. So you can see that there's an air pocket in the syringe. You can also see that there are bubbles in the sodium chloride, and you know, it doesn't matter, there's no hCG in it currently. So I'm going to pull a little bit past the 3 because it does have an air pocket, and then I'm going to push it back up to where, once again, just the edge of the stopper in the syringe is at the 3 mark. So it's accurate. And then we're going to gently put it into the sterile vial. On the glass, let it rolling in. It's actually wanting to push air out, so there we go. Oh, and it's bubbling, so I'm going to let it stop for a second, settle down a little bit, go a little slower. We don't have to be in a hurry. There we go. And there's your 5 milliliters of hCG. Okay, I think that's it.